This is my first reaction straight out from the theater. I am pleased. I read the book and I was scared because by the trailer alone, I knew that they were going to be making some changes. But after watching the movie, I am not mad about them. I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. This is not going to be for everyone, and that's fine. Looks good. Well made. I like the killings. They are creative. The acting, decent. I wasn't expecting much. Ended up coming out very surprised. So I am happy and pleased with it. You will be seeing my full review in just a few minutes. But for now, all I have to say is that I really like it, Clown in a Cornfield.
Hello, Amanda. I want to play a game.
Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. As you can see from the title, today's video is my full review with spoilers of Clown in a Cornfield. This is a 2025 American slasher directed by Eli Craig, and it's based on the 2020 novel of the same name. Now, as always, all my reviews are with spoilers, but if you don't want them just to see if this was worth it or not, on the description box down below, you're going to find my spoiler-free review because I like to give you guys the two options. And given that quick disclaimer, let's get into the video. Now, this video is going to include major spoilers not only of the film but also from the book. Since I read the book, I'm going to be doing a compare and contrast, and I'm going to be giving out all the things that are similar and all the things that they change it of the book, so keeping that in mind. The film follows a fading Midwestern town in which Frendo the clown, a symbol of Viennese success, reemerges as a terrifying scourge. To quickly summarize it, the film opens in Kettle Springs, Missouri in 1991. Some teenagers are having a party. Two of them separate from the group and they get themselves into the cornfield, and they are killed by someone with a Frendo costume. Now, in the present day, Quinn Maybrook is moving to Kettle Springs with her dad because he's going to be the new doctor in town. He was a doctor back in Philadelphia, but after the death of his wife and Quinn's mother, they want a fresh start, and since there was an opening as for a doctor here in Missouri, they decided to do the trip and start fresh. Quinn quickly meets the pranksters and the troubled teenagers of the town that are Cole, Janet, Rooney, Matt, and Tucker. They like to do pranks in the town and then film it to post it on their YouTube channel, and as a result, there's a lot of adults that are mad to them, including the sheriff. They have even created this fake idea that Frendo, that is the image of a brand, is actually a killer clown. Things are about to get into a dark turn when Tucker is killed by Frendo at his house. The next day is Founders Day, that is a traditional parade in town. The kids, they wanted to do a prank with fireworks, but it goes terribly wrong. And everyone, of course, is blaming them. As a result, the group is put in jail, and Matt, that is Ronnie's boyfriend and wasn't in town at the moment of the fireworks, he is at his house and he gets also killed by Frendo. The group gets eventually released and they're supposed to be going to a party on the night, but Quinn gets grounded by her dad. We can see that they have this stranded relationship because of the things that have been happening recently. She didn't want to move to this town, but he wanted a fresh start. Quinn gets convinced by Cole to sneak out and go to the party, so they arrive together. They're having a good time, they're even kissed, but Cole rejects Quinn. Her feelings get hurt, so she gets out. She is with Janet and Ronnie when a girl called Ginger appears. She comes straight out of the cornfield, she falls to the floor and has an arrow on her back. At first they believe that it's just another prank. Soon they're going to realize that Frendo is actually there to kill them, and this time by real. Once everyone at the party realizes that they are in danger, they all get themselves into the barn, but they leave Janet, Cole, Ronnie, and Quinn outside. So they try to leave and they find Ross. He is Quinn's neighbor, who was called Friend. He has a gun with him, so he shot Frendo. But more Frendos appear. It's now up to the group to defend themselves and survive this massacre. They get themselves into a shed. They realize that there is a sewer that goes to the outside of the shed so that they can escape. But Ross decides that he wants to distract the clowns as the group leaves. So what he does is that he's going to explode the shed. But he's not able to make it out, and the rest of the group, they get into the cornfield and they eventually get to the main road. The sheriff appears, but because he doesn't like Cole and any of these kids, he arrests Cole and leaves the girls in the middle of the road. They decide to go to this house that is nearby so that they can use a phone and call someone, since we are in the middle of nowhere, there's no phone signal. But eventually both Ronnie and Janet are killed by Frendo and Quinn gets kidnapped. When she wakes up, she realizes that she is in the factory, and this is when it gets the reveal of who is behind all of this. And it's the sheriff, There is a waitress, there is a teacher, there is a store owner, and the main villain and the mastermind is Cole's dad. And while all of this is happening, Quinn's dad realizes that she has been snuck out. So he's looking for her around town because he doesn't know about the party. And he sees that his office has been broke in. When he enters, he sees there is an injured clown and another one is telling him that he has to save this clown. But he is able eventually to kill the clowns and he sets free. He is able to find out that the queen has been kidnapped, so he arrives to the factory to try to save his daughter. We have this final fight, if you want to call it that way. Eventually, Rust arrives to save the day. He did survive the explosion of the ship. Both the sheriff and the waitress and the store owner and the teacher are all killed. Cole's dad, that the whole reason that he's doing it is because he blames Cole for the death of his daughter Victoria. And he also explains that this is a Founders Day tradition. Every couple of decades, the adults decide to kill the teenagers because they have gone rotten and they are like a cancer to society. But they are unsuccessful this time. All of them are killed except Cole's dad, that he is able to escape. And the film concludes with Rust and Cole together as a couple because they had feelings for each other and Cole wasn't able to admit it out loud that he had feelings for his friend, but they do have a kiss and a moment, and Quinn and her dad that they made up and everything is fine. The film ends with Quinn leaving for college, says goodbye to her father that is now running for being the mayor of the town. Cole and Ross, they came to say goodbye. She leaves, she sees a little box with the clowns that you do this and they pop up of Frendo and she throws it out on the window and the film concludes. Before I get into the review, I want to explain first which things are similar to the book and which things are different. Starting off with the things that are similar, we have that is set in Kettle Springs. It's set 1 year after the death of Victoria. We have the Vaping Factory fire. We have the Founders Day Festival. We have the YouTube Pranks channel. We have Quinn's mom dead. She died by an overdose. We have Quinn that can see Vaping's factory from her room. This is a detail that is mentioned on the book. That Ross is Quinn's neighbor and he walks her to school for the first day. We have Quinn and the others get detention from Mr. Byrne on her first day. Mr. Byrne is the teacher that was part of the Frendo group. We have the accomplices of the massacre that are the waitress and the teacher and also the sheriff. We have Ross that has hunting abilities. We have Janet, Ronnie, Matt, and Tucker. All of them die. We have Tucker that is killed by Frendo at his house. Arthur Hill escapes, that is Cole's dad. We have Ross surviving the explosion, the party massacre at the barn after the festival. We have the Founders Day Festival incident with the fireworks. We have the town's perception of the teenagers. Cole and Ross' hidden relationship. Cole's arrest in the middle of the road. We have Cole and his dad stranded relationship. We have Cole's death. He was going to be killed by his father and was going to be framed as suicide. We have the Tillerson's house. That is the house that they're trying to go to find the phone. And at last, we have the group that is being accused of the factory fire. And now as for the things that are different, you're going to see that this list is a little bit longer. Starting off with the opening scene that shows a party in the barn in 1991 where two teenagers are killed by Frendo. While on the book opens with the group at the town's reservoir where Cole's sister Victoria dies while jumping into the water and hitting her head. We have Quinn and her father relationship. In the book, they get along well. He is even the cool guy, while in the film, their relationship is stranded. We have Cole and Quinn kiss. They kiss 2 times and their relationship is a little bit closer. We can see that they have more chemistry. While in the book, they never kiss. We have that Cole and Ross admit their feelings to each other. In the book, it's only revealed at the ending that they are a couple. Tucker is killed by Frendo at his house before the festival. In the book is after the festival and before the after party. We have Mr. Byrne and Trudy die at the final scene, but in the book, Mr. Byrne is the first Frendo to be revealed and Trudy dies from her wounds while trying to be saved by Dr. Maybrook, that is Quinn's dad. That is also changed. The clown that he is trying to save is not Trudy. We never know the identity of it. We have Tucker and Ronnie and Janet. They don't fit the book description. Janet is a white blonde girl, while in the book she's Asian with black shoulder-length hair and her father is actually a Frendo. Tucker is described as a big boy with a neck so thick that wasn't a neck at all that acts like Cole's bodyguard. In the film, he's skinny and a nerd. And then we have Ronnie, that is described as a blonde with a side ponytail wearing tight clothing. In the film, she has dark curly hair and dresses normally. We have the massacre, that is a Founders Day tradition to clean the town from troubled teenagers. In the book, this is a one-time thing organized by the sheriff and Cole's father and other local adults who hate the teenagers. Major Harlan and Victoria Hill never appear in the movie. The major character is not even mentioned, and in the book we read Victoria's death and the town had a major. We have Cole's mom that is alive here in the movie, but in the book she died of cancer before the events. This makes the relationship between Cole and his dad even worse. We have Ginger that never meets Quinn, and she only appears briefly in the party when she is killed by Frendo. This is the girl that appears with the arrow in her back. In the book, she speaks to Quinn and she was at the reservoir when Victoria died. We have Matt and Ronnie. They aren't accomplices of the adults dressed as Frendo. In the book, they are killed different because they were part of the plan. Cole has a black Jeep in the movie, but in the book he has a vintage muscle car. The fate of Cole's dad is unknown. In the book, he escapes on a plane to Cuba, and we know that he wants revenge. Here we only see him in the car. We have no idea where he is right now. We have Janet, Ronnie, Cole, and Quinn. They get arrested after the festival fireworks incident. They never get arrested in the books. Dr. Weller just left town. This is the opening that was left that Quinn's dad is now taking. But in the book it's actually revealed that he knew about the plan to kill the teenagers, but he tried to backtrack and got killed because of it. The confession of the plan of the sheriff to Cole is never shown. In the book, he tells Cole everything about the plan while driving him after getting him arrested. We have Dr. Maybrook that gets kidnapped by a Frendo at his house to save an injured Frendo that turns to be Trudy. But in the film, he's driving around town looking for Quinn since he doesn't know about the party and found his office vandalized, and enters to find an injured Frendo who has to save, but the identity is never revealed. The film ends with Quinn leaving from college. The book ends with Quinn, Cole, and Ross eating in the diner while Arthur is in the plane to Cuba while being declared dead. Ross' dad never appears in the film, but he appears in the book. Party massacre doesn't really happen. The partygoers just hide in the barn and never appear again, and the Frendos just focus in the main group. In the book, several teenagers are killed and tried to burn alive by the Frendos. Ross explodes the silo to give time to the group to escape. Here in the movie is a shed. Cole dislikes of being in camera after his sister's death is never addressed. Dr. Maybrook is more relaxed and positive and leads on Quinn to go to the party. In the film, he's having a difficult time and doesn't like Cole and punishes her. At last, Arthur Hill is still in town. In the book, he hasn't been seen in almost a year and he doesn't show until the end when he reveals himself as the mastermind. And now with all the things that were similar and all the things that were different, let's get into the review. I'm gonna start by saying, just like I said on my first reaction, I had a good time and I really liked the movie. When I first saw that this film was announced, I was intrigued. Then I read that it was based on a book, so I was interested. I decided to not read the book until this week. I had no spoilers. I had no idea what was happening. I didn't know anything about the plot. I went as blind as possible. When I read the first chapters and I read Victoria's death, my mind went straight to, this is going to be about revenge for the death of her. At first I thought maybe it's going to be Cole because he is mad to his friend. But when it's mentioned that his father hasn't been seen in town in almost a year, I thought, it's the dad behind the costume, right? I wasn't wrong. The whole thing about the other adults being involved in it, I was surprised by that, but at the same time it made sense because from the start, both the book and the film, they're letting you know that all the adults, they have troubles with the kids. They are different generations, they don't get along. So the fact that they're going as far as to kill them in order to have a fresh start in town, for me, it didn't come out of nowhere. But what did surprise me was the people that were involved. Identities of the Frendos are revealed as the story goes, while on the movie they are revealed at the ending. And I'm gonna have to say that the movie is less predictable than the book. I predicted a lot of the things that were going to be happening in the book. There were some details that did surprise me, but the majority of things I was able to predict him. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, this is a young adult book, so I wasn't expecting this to be overcomplicated. But the film changes the narrative, takes away some details, and they switch things, and they even change it, the whole opening. By the time that we get to the reveal, it's a little bit more surprising. But Arthur's reveal is less impactful. I felt that when he is revealed as the main villain, yes, I already was expecting it, but at the same time, it's like, oh, so this is the guy, we don't know anything about you. You haven't seen you. While on the movie, we're seeing him quite a lot. So for me, having him way earlier on the movie makes the reveal a little bit less impactful. When it came to Cole's and Ross' relationship, that did surprise me in the book. I wasn't expecting it because all the time I was thinking that Cole and Quinn are going to get together. They sold me a romance between these two because since they never kiss, he never rejects her. So imagine my surprise when I'm reading and I see his boyfriend. I thought that it was a typo. I was like, what? But no, they actually had feelings for each other, but it's never really mentioned in the book until the end. If they are signals about their romance, it just passed through my head because I was way too focused on Cole and Quinn. To make it worse, in the movie, they have chemistry. Cole and Quinn, the actors, they have chemistry. I would love to see those two as an actual couple in a movie. It doesn't matter if it's horror or if anything else, but I need them as a couple in something because they had chemistry. At the same time, I like it that they give away a little bit early that Cole and Ross have some type of feelings for each other. And it was a funny moment because the girls, they like, oh. And you as the audience, if you haven't read the book, you're like, oh, so that is what is happening between these two, because you can see that they are having like some awkwardness between each other in some encounters. And by the time that they finally admit the feelings for each other and they kiss, it's like a cute moment, and at the end they are together. I feel that they did a good job with Cole and Ross' relationship, but at the same time they sold me the romance between Cole and Quinn. When it came to the soundtrack, I like it, the soundtrack. I don't know if I should feel old or maybe I don't know much, but I wasn't able to recognize the songs, but they were good and they fitted the story. I like it humor because sometimes when they do Gen Z humor, it can be cringy. Not here. I feel that they made the balance between being serious and also having the humor, and the film is self-aware. The film knows that it can be a little bit cheesy, can be falling into the known formula of teenage slashers, but it's still enjoyable. I like it that the film, although I have read the book, for someone who hasn't read the book, this is not going to be predictable. If this is your type of horror, if you enjoy teenage horror and slasher, you're going to like this. If you don't, maybe don't go and watch this, because if you don't like this type of thing, maybe this is going to be torture for you. So keep that in mind. If you don't enjoy teenage horror, that is completely fine. Maybe this film is not going to be for you. But on the contrary, if you love teenage horror as much as I do, then you're going to have a good time. I feel that may make me a little bit biased, and it's that I enjoy teenage horror. I like reading young adults books, even though I cannot be considered a teenager anymore, but I like them. So for me, it was an enjoyable experience. I have some laughs. There's a moment when they are struggling with an old phone.
Call 911! Where's the button, Jen? What is this? What kind of phone is this?
I thought that was pretty funny because I just know that is something that 100% could happen. The killings, I like it that they were creative. Was just expecting just a little bit more blood, but it's fine. It's not really a complaint. I really like it that they added more personality to Quinn's character. Here she has more sassiness and she's more open. I really like how they portrayed her, but something that I didn't like was how they changed their relationship with her father. In the book, he is a cool guy, he is relaxed, he is oversharing by times, but he's trying to be friendly, and he even encourages her to go to the party. But here he's having his struggles, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the usual thing. It's more expected for a father in a teenage slasher to behave like that. So I didn't like it that they have some fights and stuff. How wholesome and good the relationship was in the book. I was surprised to see that they made that change, but I don't really get why, because if you wanted an excuse to get him out of his house, why not do the kidnapping scene? That they could have done it that, and was going to be more of a shocking moment and creepy, even having a Frendo at the house and getting him kidnapped in order to save another one, because at the end of the day they did the same thing. He ends up trying to save a Frendo, although the identity is never revealed. He's still doing the same thing as a book. So I thought that they could have done the whole kidnapping thing. For me, this is not a bad adaptation, but I do question some of the changes. The opening scene alone, I questioned it myself while watching it. Why would you change this? But then I realized that it was a scene to set up the fact that teenagers have been killed before by someone with a Frendo costume. I do feel that it would have been good to see the original opening of the book, that is when Victoria dies. But at the same time, I feel that it could have been extremely random. Because when I read the book, at first I was like, what is this? What all of this has to do with the story? Of course, you find out later. So when it comes to a narrative perspective, I can understand why they decided to make this thing like a whole tradition, making these adults to even feel more psycho. But a part of me will have liked it to still see something, because this is a major plot point. The whole reason why Cole's dad wants him dead is because Victoria's death was his breaking point. I feel that they could have added more of an importance to this moment, because by the time that we get to the ending and Cole's dad starts to explain to Quinn about the death of Victoria, it's very quick. So I felt that it's the motive behind all of this, to have managed it a little bit better. I was also surprised that the acting was actually good. I was expecting it to be decent, but it was actually good. Something that I like it is that they weren't over the top, at least for me. Sometimes teenagers, they can be over exaggerated in films, but here I felt that it was a little bit realistic in terms of how they were being portrayed. Yes, the script is a little bit cheesy, but in terms of how the Gen Zs are being portrayed, I felt that yes, they may be stereotypes, but they aren't being over the top with it. They're just going with the flow, because at the end of the day, yes, stereotypes, they do exist. So I was pleased with that, and in general, the group felt that they were friends. Sometimes you watch groups and you're like, nah, these people, they don't get along at all. These people, they don't know each other. Here, I could feel that they were actual friends from childhood, because we are on a small town, have known each other since forever. So that is something that I also like it. When it came to the change of Ronnie and Matt not being the villains, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of happy about it. I'm a fan of them being part of the whole deal, but at the same time I do understand why they changed it, because for the sake of the movie, it wasn't going to make sense that two teenagers were part of the killing when this is a tradition of the adults. So I understand why they changed it, but I am not mad, because I wasn't really a fan of it. At the end of the day, I had a really good time watching A Clown in a Cornfield. It's a film that I would recommend, again, if you enjoy teenagers slasher horror, if you like the book. I have read mixed reviews in terms of the people who have read the book. Not everyone has loved it, and that's fine. Not everyone loves every single adaptation. I myself have read plenty of books that the adaptations, they just don't make it for me. But this one, I was actually pleased. As for the sequel, if it's going to be coming, I don't know. This book ends on a cliffhanger, it's an open ending. So we have the second book that follows Quinn now in college, and everything that has happened is coming back to her. But as for the movie, since it's a semi-open ending, they can just leave it there and that was going to be fine. But maybe if the film is successful enough, maybe they're going to do the sequel. Who knows? We're gonna have to wait a little bit to find out. But if they decide to do it, then happily I will sit down and watch it. With that, I have officially ended my review. For me, this film is a 3.5 out of 5 and a 7 out of 10. Expectations, they had been not only fulfilled, but they have been surpassed. But with this, I have ended the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below your thoughts. If you read the book, what changes you like it, what changes you didn't. Let me know down below your thoughts and your opinions. And I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Bye!
Game over.